Hello guys, how are you? I hope everyone is doing fine. Today we are going to start a new topic in the startup financing. This is one of the most important topics in the startup financing field. Now it's called the pricing strategy for your startups. It is one of the most important elements because, or factors you could say, because if you price your products or services wrongly, so let's say if you price it too high, so you will lose customers. If you price it too low, so then you will lose profit on every product that you sell. So if you lose like $1 on every product, and then you sell 100,000 products, so that means you have lost $100,000, right? And that is the crucial money that is required for your startup in the beginning, because that money you could use in the product development, product improvement, marketing, hiring better people for the startups, and all those things. So that is why pricing is of so much importance. So pricing high or pricing too low could cost the business. So what should be the balanced price for your startup or for your products in the early stages, especially for the new products? So in this lecture we are going to discuss all these things, that how to strategize better, or how to have a better price for your startup or the early version of your products. So today we are going to discuss these different topics or subtopics in this lecture. Why innovation is so hard, why pricing itself is so hard, definitely the different pricing strategies, and how to crack the perfect price for your services and products. And the examples definitely would give some examples of the revenue models or the pricing models or the pricing strategies for to be precise. So why pricing innovation is so hard? So these are some of the reasons that innovation is so hard. One, there is no historical data. Like for example, if you want to buy a smartphone, so definitely there are so many other smartphones that are there in the market, and you would compare your new smartphone price with the other prices. Or if you are going to buy shoes, so definitely you can compare the shoes available in the market. So that is why if something is new, there are no similar products or there are no similar examples. So how would you price those new innovations? Definitely you don't know the value, and especially the customers, they do not know the value of those entirely new products or innovative products. So that is why it makes it so hard to price the innovation. The second reason that pricing innovation is so hard, because if you are the entrepreneur, you are the risk taker and loving new ways of doing things, but your average user is not an innovative person, right? And since this new product is going to compel him to change the way he works, like for example, if you ask a doctor to hand over their reports in electronic format rather than the hard format, the paper format. So that will definitely compel the doctors to change the way they do the data entry part, and look at the customer or the patient's health record in the past. So that is not something very common in the health sector in our part of the region, specifically. So that would definitely there will be a resistance for such kind of solutions in the market, since it requires doctors and the doctors' assistants and the hospital administration to change the way they operate. So pricing innovation is so hard for, and implementing innovation is so hard for, say. The third factor that makes innovation so hard is, as I said a little bit while ago, that the average users like routines and certainty and going on a set path. They do not like innovativeness. They do not like to change the way they do their work. Right? Since you are the entrepreneur, you are the risk taker, you are more innovative. But again, your average target customer is the average person who likes certainty in life, right? So that makes it a little bit harder. So he doesn't want to change the routine, and that makes it a little bit harder for them to accept the change. And the fourth factor that makes innovation so hard, or selling or commercializing the thing so hard, it is as the previous factor mentioned, average user, they like routine. So accepting the new way of doing things, you'll find very little people for there to find those kinds of people, the early adopters, I would say. So that is, and since they are also price insensitive, since they like change, the early adopters, so that is why it will be very hard for you guys to find users for your products in the early stage, especially if you price your products so high in the earlier stages of the business. Right? So these are the different factors that make innovation or pricing innovation so hard in the market. There are some problems with the price itself, as we discussed in the introductory remarks of this lecture. Sometimes people price their products or services too low, and sometimes their price is too high. They price it too low because they think there is no value in their product, or they are too complacent about the value they offer to the customers. And sometimes they price it too high because they are too overconfident about the value that their product offer to the target customers. So sometimes they price it too high, sometimes they price it too low. So that makes it a little bit difficult. Other times, the second factor, other times you underestimate the cost, since you don't know the value of your time, the value of other things. So that is why it can happen some of the times that you underestimate the cost. And if your pricing strategy is based on the cost of the manufacturing or the making of the product, so that is why it would be hard for you to price your products. As we mentioned, the third factor is you do not understand the value yourself, or sometimes your customers or your target customers, they do not realize the value you are giving to them, since they are used to the old ways of doing things and do not realize the new ways, what kind of opportunities would the new ways of doing things bring to their door. So that makes it a little bit harder to price accurately. And finally, most of the time we focus on the wrong customers. We try to push our product on the people they do not need our product, and that basically makes it a little bit harder. And one indication is if a guy is trying to negotiate with you on the price, so definitely that means those could be the wrong customers, since they do not understand their value, and since from the beginning you never consulted what is the real value. And if they are really interested in solving their problems, they will definitely buy that solution at any price. But if they are bargaining with you and negotiating with you, so that probably would be a signal that those guys are not your target customers. So focusing on the wrong customers makes it really hard for you to think or to come across a price that is good for you and good for your target customers at the same time. Right. So what could be the right strategies to price your products? If you can remember in the business model lecture that we discussed, so the costing and the pricing could be done on two different approaches. Either you price as per the cost basis, or you price it as per the value that you offer to the target customers. When we say the cost base, so definitely if, for example, it costs you $2 and you add up your profit and you sell the product at $3, so definitely that is the value based pricing. But if the target customers, or you make your product available in some places where there are no other solutions, so definitely the value of that solution, let it be just a bottle of water. So if you are selling the bottle in the city, so definitely you would price it differently. Even if you sell your water bottles in the distant locations, in the mountains, in those areas, so definitely it would be a scarce resource there. So the value of the price of the water bottle would go up, and people would definitely give high prices, since the value of the water is more there, since water is not available there. Right. So here I would give the different examples of the different smartphone manufacturing. Here you can see that Apple company produces a smartphone at $218, and they sell the same mobile phone at $849. If you look at Samsung, so they produce almost in the same range, the 213, only $5 difference, but you could see the price differential over here. All right, the reason that this difference is Apple sells it on a different approach to target customers. They have like psychological pricing, while Samsung little bit not as psychological as compared to Apple, but they sell it at a very lower price, and you can see the profit margin, and you can clearly see there is a 13% profit margin difference. At the same price, Apple is manufacturing a phone that is $30 less than the same phone at the same price. Right? So that means Samsung is losing almost $30 per phone. So if they sell around like 1 million phone sets, so that basically means they have lost $30 million. So that's quite a big number. And if they sell around 100 million, so you could multiply it with 30. So that is the amount of money they lose on every manufacturing that they do, right? So that is the difference between cost-based pricing and the value-based pricing, and how you can get an idea for your business that which one is better for you guys, to sell it on the cost base or sell on the value base. And by the way, companies these days, they are competing on the base of the values rather than the price, engaging in the price wars with the competition. Here, this is the most important slide of this lecture. This is called the pricing thermometer. Here you can see the price, the product price. Here you can see the cost of the goods sold, the cost of manufacturing. Here you could see the perceived value and the objective value. The manufacturers try to have this gap as far as possible. Try to have this gap as bigger as possible, since the cost of good manufacturing, the product price, that represents the profit margin. So they would try to have this gap as big as possible. At the same time, the customers, they would try to have this gap as much as possible, because for every product for every dollars they pay, they would want to have more and more value, right? So the bigger the gap, it means the bigger the value they are getting from their purchase, or the value for the money. They want to have more value for their money. So that is how it is done in the market. So how do you use this graph in order to set your price for and convince your target customers to buy your product and not the product of the competition? A similar concept is being used in the economics, that is called the consumer surplus. And consumer surplus is the price level that the consumers are ready to pay. If, for example, they are ready to pay $10 for a bottle of water, and you are going to sell it at $1, so definitely they are getting $9 saved, and that is what the value, that is what the extra value they are getting from that. So that is what we call as the consumer surplus. So in order to understand better this pricing mechanism and the pricing strategy, so I would recommend you should definitely study the consumer surplus, and that would help you in your pricing strategy for your services. So how to create the perfect price for your startup? This is called the price optimization. You should test a different price level. As you can see from the table, we have different pricing, imaginary pricing, right? Price 1, price 2, price 3, at price 1, the conversion are, so that is the number of customers you convert from your ad campaigns and things like that. And this is the sales volume, and this is the revenue you are getting. And if you could see from all these different prices, you could see the most revenue is coming from price 3. Even though lesser people are buying it and lesser units are sold, however, the revenue is more. So that is what you could do. So you test different prices, and the price that gives you the most revenue should be the perfect price for your services. So experimentation is the key in the startups. Once you know which price sets best for your services or for your company, so go with those prices. But again, I would recommend, do not lose focus on these customers or these sales volumes, right? And why? Because they are near buyers of your product. So how can you convince them, or how could you make them buy your product? So the way, the strategy to do that is offer them some discounts and deals and get those customers. Do not lose those important customers. So I hope that makes some sense to you guys. So this is what we cracking the perfect prices, since it is about the startups and there are no examples and there are no benchmarks as we discussed over here in the innovation part, right? So that is how you can do things for your startup. Experimentation is the key to startup to create the perfect business model and the perfect pricing model and the revenue model for your startups. Moving forward, here is the $1 billion formula. So if you want to become a $1 billion company, right, so that is what you should do. Your price multiplied by the customer, and if your company is making $100 million a year, so soon you're going to become a $100 billion company. So if, for example, if you are selling something around $100, so you would need around 1 million buyers to become a $1 billion company. If you are going to sell something at around $1,000, then you would need this number of customers. If you are going to if you are going to sell something at around $100,000, then you would need only 1,000 customers for your business. So how would you want to do that? Going with the more valued product, high price product, and lesser customers, or vice versa, right? So that basically would give you an idea if you could become a $1 billion company or not. So if you are selling something at around $1, so how many customers would you require? How many users would you require to become a $1 billion company? Is it worth investing your time and energy in starting up something which won't go to $1 billion company? So think again and strategize accordingly for your startup. Finally, I would give you some different pricing strategies examples. One, that normally the companies or the startups or the new companies they do in the new markets or maybe innovative companies, so they go with the market penetration. Sometimes this price could be less than the cost, even the cost of manufacturing, right? But if you have money and you can afford those prices and you can operate at losses for a certain number of years, then you should go with that market penetration. As you could see from the examples of the Airbnb and all those companies and WhatsApp, let's say, so those were making losses in the earlier stages, but they went with those prices. They offered their services for free sometimes. So but they entered the market, they grabbed a number of customers, and after that, when they had a sizable number of customers, so they started charging some price or increased their prices after some time, or offered different services for that purpose. Psychological pricing is another strategy that you could do. Like beauty products, like the health products, those are basically the psychological pricing. If something makes you beautiful and makes your skin glow or hair regrowth, so those are basically targeting at your psyche to look nice and look beautiful, right? Look smart. So those pricing, and they definitely charge you higher for those products and the services. So that is another strategy that they use, the psychological pricing. Razor and blade, definitely if you are familiar with the razors and the blade, so the razors comes at a lower price while the blade are too expensive. At the same time, gaming, those guys who are doing the gaming, so the gaming console come at a lower prices, and the Sony PlayStation, if you look at all those parts, so the cost of those parts is more than the final price of the product. So in other words, they are losing money on every console they sell. However, the company makes profit from the games they sell. So that is an example of the razor and blade. The final example, even though there are more examples, so for the lecture's sake, for the time's sake, I would give 4 examples only. So the final one is the bundle pricing. Your telecommunication services as an example of the bundle pricing. They combine internet with the SMS, with the phone calls, and other services they offer you So that is when different services are bundled together and sold as one complete product. So that is called the bundle pricing. So you could also bundle your services with other products, with other partners, and that bundling could also help you getting some sales and some traction for your early version of the product. So with this, I hope you have got an idea about what is pricing, why pricing innovative products or new products is so much difficult. All right, what are the different strategies that you can use, and how can you crack the perfect price for your startup, and if you want to build a $1 billion company, so how to go about that thing. So I hope everything is a little bit clear to you guys now. So if there are any questions, so please do ask in the comment box. I do check my comments, and if there are any questions, I would definitely like to answer those comments. Thank you so much.